Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Brian if you're new around here, but if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And thank you so much for checking out this Warrior controller guide. In this, we're going to dive into how I've got my Warrior set up for the controller. But if you've never seen a controller guide before, if you're completely new to Final Fantasy XIV and this is an introduction to the controller, I'm going to walk you through how you get it set up. But if you want more detail, I have a fully featured complete controller guide for you, and I'll have that in the links in the description if you really want to take your controller play to the next level. Also, if you are coming to this video and you want an easy way to set up my controller layout without having to pause the video, note, check the pinned comments for the macros that are set up to actually configure your hotbars exactly like you see them in this video. Now you can free as I stutter through that. You can feel free to change it however you want. The goal is to make it as comfortable and easy for you to use and play Warrior within Final Fantasy XIV, especially in a preferred way that I play. Now I've got over 5,000 hours with this game. I've been playing and covering this game for 13 years. It's absolutely a passion project for me. So note that I just want you to take that. Now, if you do feel this video earns it, I'd love it if you hit that like button, subscribe to this Final Fantasy XIV and 11 channel. But beyond that as well, is that even if you're just here for the macros, if you can let the video play out at least as long as you can, that will actually help it within the algorithm. So when people are searching, that will actually help this video actually rank and help people get the information they need. But again, no pressure. I do appreciate any and all watch time that you guys throw these videos as well. But that's a long enough intro. It's now time to dive into getting set up on the controller in Final Fantasy XIV, and you can always use the chapter markers of these videos to jump to any specific section that you need. And yeah, and at the end of this, we'll talk about the Glamour and what I'm using for my setup. But first and foremost, we're going to jump into system and then system configuration. And I'm going to take you into the gamepad settings specifically because under my button configuration, I do something a little bit different for my mappings, and we're not going to go into that too much, but I want to show you the right R3 click, which is set to macro 99. Again, this macro is going to be a part of the document, but to highlight what that actually looks like for you guys is here in my 99 slot, I have my movement macro. This is my PvP sprint, my normal sprint, my flying Mount Roulette. What this means is that standing still here, I can click on it and I can pull out my mount. If I want to run and sprint, I can jump and I can sprint here. Or if I'm in an area that does not allow for mounting, it will automatically go into the sprint. It uses fail through macro writing, meaning that it's going to use whatever is available to it first. And then if it's not available, it will automatically move into the next tier. So the note, that's where my sprint is, that's where my mounts are, and that's going to be a huge part of this. All right, so now let's go ahead and jump into your start, system, and character configuration. If you are coming over from keyboard and mouse, note this is probably how it's going to end up looking for you. And so you would actually see your menu and you would see here like system as the K button, character configuration, and that's essentially where you want to go. And in this case, I use gamepad mode, legacy type movement, which gives me that full, if I just kind of drag this out of the way, full movement in whichever moving the controller. That ultimately is very comfortable. There's a lot of the settings, and like I said, I would point you to the full complete guide to kind of walk you through that. But I do want to point you to some new settings that we actually have here. Auto target according to priority, and you can say closest range or line of sight for the auto target priority, and enable full auto target. I absolutely adore this as a controller player, especially some skills that are like, I need a target. I wish this would work for like something like Nascent Flash, but it is what it is, right? Overall, I also turn off automatically lock on target when initiating because your L stick, L3, will act as a lock on target function if you need it. But as you learn and kind of play around with the controller, maybe this will help you out, maybe it won't. You can kind of fill it out and see what ultimately works the best for you. Now, under filters is really kind of where the meat of how I play this game comes to play. When my weapon is put away, I will target non-party PCs, alliance members, all enemies, aggroing NPCs, etc. I turn off pets, parties, and minions because you can cycle through your party by hitting up and down on the D-pad without the left trigger or the right trigger pulled. And then when I'm with my enemies, I like how that sounds for some reason. All enemies, aggroing enemies, duty specific. So whenever I've got this filtered out, so with my weapon put away, I can target a wider range of things, and there's not that actually many to target out here. But I can also up and down to target self and party members. And with my weapons out, then it's going to obviously just focus here on what is available as an enemy in this regards. Now, from a targeting perspective, you can actually use left or right on the D-pad, but holding down the left trigger or the right trigger, you can press R bumper and left bumper to kind of do the targeting as well. So while you're in the thick of it, especially if you have like an Elite Series 2 or a controller that has back buttons, like these, not the Stadia, but the Steam Deck, that's a great way of turning those features on to help make it easier to target. So then under the hotbar settings, this is kind of where a lot of this is driven from. I turn off the numbers. I also have hide unassigned slots as a way to kind of keep my UI as clean as possible. Then here you can play around with adding in different hotbars, and I use the different hotbars. Somebody called them like as a weak aura effect, as different things to communicate information to me that I really want to be aware of and know. So I'll let you kind of play around with that HUD, and we'll talk a bit more about my HUD towards the end of the video. Under sharing, my hotbar mains 6 through 10 are shared. That means no matter what class, job, etc. I'm using, they're always going to be the same skills there. And for the cross hotbar, I only have 7 and 8 shared, meaning 1 through 6 are available per each job and class. I have always display hotbar, but if you want to turn that on, you can, turn that off. You can actually have a little bit cleaner of a UI. You can also display hotbar help if you need. If I hit apply, you'll see it has the buttons and what they're called, but I turn that off because as I kind of learn it, I don't necessarily need it. I play in hold mode, but if you're finding some dexterity issues with your hands, maybe check out toggle or mixed mode. I would recommend hold because that's going to give you all the features, including the double cross hotbar, the double click for the left and right trigger, and the holding left trigger and right trigger to get different skills as well. But that's essentially my choice. Always display W cross hotbar is turned on, and return to the cross hotbar after W cross hotbar input is also turned on. So you see here as I use a skill, it automatically puts me right back into it. And finally, under custom, this is where you control what your expanded cross hotbar and your double cross hotbar use. You will not be able to drag and drop skills onto your double cross hotbar from here. You have to use what is called the linked hotbar. So here for the expanded, 2 left and 2 right is set up, and so you can see here I've got my skills, and those are all mapped here on 2. And then for 3, that's what I've got for the double tap here. So if you want to interact and you want to change these up, you have to go to the linked hotbar. You cannot use the floating hotbar that is being displayed, otherwise it will cause you some a little bit of stress. Now I do have able customization with weapon to sheathed and drawn, meaning it's going to lock me when my weapon is out to only using hotbar. You can tab between your hotbars by pressing R bumper. You can hold and press 1 2 3 4 A B C D and etc. to jump to all the different ones themselves. So note that you have some flexibility, but whenever my weapon is out, I do not want to accidentally bump R bumper and find myself on a hotbar that I wasn't intended. You can also do the same and set it up for PvP differently, but PvP has been hyper simplified, so I don't necessarily think it's going to be all that big of a deal if you do that. But now that we've covered kind of getting set up with the controller itself, let's talk about the skills, and then we'll go through my logic, layout, and more. All right, so now let's dive into the warrior skills and abilities, and we're going to walk you through all the way 1 to 90 so we all have a good understanding of what these do. Now, note any potencies that you see will all be adjusted as I'm in level 90 warrior, and as you learn these abilities, they will automatically be added to your cross hotbar, so you're going to want to probably make a few changes, but we'll cover more of that in the next section. At level 1, you learn heavy swing. It's got a deliver an attack with a potency of 200. Then you get maim at level 4. This is going to deliver an attack with a potency of 130. It does combo off a heavy swing, and that's a potency of 280, and will increase your beast gauge by 10. Then at level 6, you learn Berserk. This is going to grant 3 stacks of Berserk, each stack guaranteeing weapon skills are going to be critical and direct hits. It's going to basically ensure you're doing the most damage possible. It will extend Surging Tempest duration by 10 seconds to a maximum of 60 seconds. Then you have Overpower at level 10. This delivers an attack with a potency of 110 to all nearby enemies. This is great for big pulls. It used to be in a cone, but now in Endwalker, it is a circle around your character. At level 10, you also learn Defiance. This is your tank stance. This means that everything that you're going to be hitting is going to want to focus in on you first and foremost. Then at level 15, you learn Tomahawk. This delivers a range attack with a potency of 150, and it will have increased hate generated towards you, so that as you're running up to the group of enemies, you can actually pull them with Tomahawk. At level 26, you learn Storm's Path. This delivers an attack with a potency of 120. But if you combo it off of maim, you get a combo potency of 400. It will also restore your own HP with a cure potency of 250 and increase your beast gauge by 20. And then at level 30, you get Thrill of Battle. Increases your maximum HP by 20% and restores the amount increased. Increases HP recovering via healing magic by self by 20% as well. Then you also at level 38 learn Vengeance. Reduces damage taken by 30% and delivers an attack with a potency of 55 every time you suffer physical damage. Then you have Home Gain at level 42. Brace yourself for an enemy onslaught, preventing most attacks from reducing your HP to no less than 1. When your target is selected, it halts their movement with chains. Then you have Storm's Eye, level 50. Delivers an attack with a potency of 120. Combos off of Maim. The combo potency is 400. This grants Surging Tempest, increases damage dealt by 10%, and that will last for 30 seconds. Using it again will extend Surging Tempest by 30 seconds up to a maximum of 60 seconds, and it increases your beast gauge by 10. Then at level 35 you learn Inner Beast. This delivers an attack with a potency of 330 with a beast gauge cost of 50. Then you get Mythril Tempest. This delivers an attack with a potency of 100 to all nearby enemies, but it does combo with Overpower for a potency increase of 150. It will grant Surging Tempest, increasing your damage dealt by 10%, and that will last 30 seconds, and it will extend Surging Tempest to up to a minute, as each time it will refresh, it will be 30 seconds. It will also increase your beast gauge by 20. Then at level 45 you get Steel Cyclone, delivers an attack with a potency of 170 to all nearby enemies with a beast gauge cost of 50. Then at level 50 you get Infuriate, increases beast gauge by 50. It will grant Nascent Chaos, and that will last for 30 seconds with a maximum charges of 2, and it can only be executed while in combat. At level 54 you learn Fail Cleave. This delivers an attack with a potency of 460 with a beast gauge cost of 50. The action changes to Inner Chaos while under the effect of Nascent Chaos. Then at level 56 you learn Raw Intuition. Reduces damage taken by 10%, and that will last for 6 seconds. It will restore HP with each weapon skill successfully delivered with a cure potency of 400. It shares a recast timer with Nascent Flash. Then at level 58 you get Equilibrium. It restores your own HP with a cure potency of 1200. It will also gradually restore HP with a cure potency of 200 for 15 seconds. At level 60, Decimate is learned, and this is actually the upgrade of Steel Cyclone, etc. Delivers an attack with a potency of nearby enemies with a potency of 200 with a beast gauge cost of 200 or 50. Don't know why I said 200 3 times. Action changes to Chaotic Cyclone under the effect of Nascent Chaos. Then at level 62, you learn Onslaught. This rushes to your target and delivers an attack with a potency of 150 with a maximum of 3 charges, and it has a charge time of 30 seconds. Then at level 64, you learn Upheaval. Delivers an attack with a potency of 350. Shares a recast timer with Orogeny. So that's a single target. Orogeny is going to be your AoE version of this. Shake It Off, level 68, creates a barrier around self and all nearby party members that absorbs damage totaling 15% of your maximum HP. This will dispel Thrill of Battle, Vengeance, and Bloodwetting. Increase damage absorbed by 2% for each effect that you have removed. That will last for 15 seconds. It will also restore own HP and HP of all nearby party members with a cure potency of 300. Then at level 70 you get Inner Release. This is the upgrade of Berserk. It grants 3 stacks of Inner Release, each stack allowing to use the Fell Cleave or Decimate without cost and guaranteeing that they are critical and direct hits. This grants also Inner Strength, nullifying Stun, Sleep, Bind, and Heavy, and most knockback draw-in effects that will last for 15 seconds. This also extends Surging Tempest by 10 seconds to a maximum of 60 seconds and will grant Primal Rend Ready for 30 seconds. A lot of things going on with Inner Release. Then you have Nascent Flash. This grants Nascent Flash to self and Nascent Glint to target party members. So you will select a party member with this. Nascent Flash effect, restore HP and each weapon skill successfully delivered for a cure potency of 400. Nascent Glint effect restores HP equaling of 100% of that recovered by Flash, while also reducing damage taken by 10%. That will last for 8 seconds. Additional effects will grant Stem the Flow to target, reducing damage taken by 10%, and also grants Stem the Tide to target, nullifying damage equaling that of a heal of a 400 potency cure, and that will last 20 seconds. It also shares a recast timer with Bloodletting at level 82, reduces damage taken by 10%, lasting 8 seconds. Additional effect will restore HP with each weapon skill successfully delivered with a cure potency of 400. Grants Stem the Flow, reduces damage taken by 10% for 4 seconds. It grants Stem the Tide, creates a barrier around self that absorbs damage equaling that of a heal of 400 potency for 20 seconds. Shares recast timer with Nascent Flash. Then at level 86, you learn Orogeny. Delivers an attack with a potency of 150 to all nearby enemies. It shares a recast timer with Upheaval. Then you have Primal Rend. Jump into the target to deliver critical direct hit to the target and all enemies nearby with a potency of 700 for the first enemy and 70% less for all remaining enemies. Stacks within a release are not consumed upon execution. Can only be executed while under the effect of Primal Rend ready, and grants inner release cannot be executed while bound. Then at level 72, you actually get Chaotic Cyclone, which is the upgrade of when you use inner release, or excuse me, Infuriate, and then obviously Decimate. So it delivers a critical attack with a potency of 320 to all nearby enemies. It reduces the recast timer of Infuriate, and that's going to cost you 50 for the beast gauge. Can only be executed while under the effect of Nascent Chaos, and the effect fades upon execution. And then Inner Chaos, which is the upgrade for the Fail Cleave and the Infuriate, delivers an attack with a potency direct hit with it of 650, reduces recast timer of Infuriate by 5 seconds. Beast gauge cost is 50, can only be executed while under the effect of Nascent Chaos, and effect fades upon use. Now for your roll, Rampart reduces damage taken by 20%. Lobo was going to be a stun. Provoke is going to get you at the top of the hate list. Interject will interrupt certain target actions. Reprisal reduces damage taken by nearby enemies by 10%. So basically, this is awesome. I love this AoE. Arm's Length as well puts a slow, which means not their speed, but their actually attack speed is slowed for 20% there. So that's a great reduction. And then Shirk being able to transfer 25% of your hate to a target party member. Great for using and pairing with Provoke and Shirk. So that way you can pull the hate, and then your accompanying tank can push it more to you to help ensure that you're going to be at the top of the hate list. But those are our skill overviews for the warrior. Let's dive into how I've got it laid out and my logic, and then we can hopefully talk about some Glamour. All right, if you've been watching this video all the way through, be sure to like this video. You are amazing. But if you just jump to this section, note that this is also part of the macros, so you can have your hotbars instantly set up like mine. But let's go ahead and talk about kind of my layout here. Overall, as I go ahead and attack this character, on the left-hand side, I've got Thrill of Battle, Equilibrium, Upheaval, and Primal Rend with my Limit Break. On the left-hand side, this is my AoE kind of builder. You can see here, I've got all my AoE skills all in one place. To start it off, we got Inner Release, Nascent Flash, Vengeance, Infuriate, Overpower, Mythril Tempest, Decimate, and Orogeny, as I mispronounce that. But as I build it up, I can start to do all these wonderful things, all as a part of these big pools. I can then also press as my left trigger is already held, and now I am still be able to put on various debuffs. I can also still rush, I can still pull, I can still stun, I can still reduce their overall speed, and it gives me a lot of flexibility here as an AoE player, pulling it in and going ham as the warrior is wont to do. Now I can easily toss it over here and be able to get other skills, and when I need to, I can jump up here to do Primal Rend as my level 90 ability to finish it all off. Now over here on the right hand side, this is kind of my single target, my boss mode rush, or single target in this regard, starting with Heavy Swing, Maim, and Storm's Path as a complete combo. Or I can go Heavy Swing, Maim, and then Storm's Eye to build up that additional bonus damage that it's put on the target with Surging Tempest. Still, I have Equilibrium, Thrill of Battle, Bloodwetting, and Upheaval to round it out in terms of what different buffs and that I want to put on myself, as well as adding a little bit of weaving damage. Up here, well, also to kind of follow it up, by already holding down the right trigger but pressing left trigger, I have my Onslaught, I have my ranged pull, and then I can have my single target abilities right here along with Primal Rend to finish it all off as needed, and still Home Gang available as well, but we'll cover that more in detail. Over here on the double tap, I've got my Shake It Off to help debuff or buff my party and remove some debuffs for me if I've got them on. Nascent Flash, Rampart, Shirk, Interject, and Arm's Length. Now as we go into part 2, I have Defiance to turn on my tank stance, and then Home Gang, Arm's Length and Provoke, Onslaught, Tomahawk, Reprisal, and Low Blow. Right hand side, kind of more the single target focus, Onslaught, Fail Cleave, Primal Rend, Tomahawk, Infuriate, Inner Release, Home Gang, and Upheaval. So again, like from that perspective, if I'm doing my AoE, I can jump into here and do any additional stuff as needed. Same thing here for single target, still able to jump in here. And either way, I can always find Home Gang no matter which direction I press, so I don't find myself in a situation where I'm in trouble. And so that's essentially how I have got my layout configured, and hopefully that is a help. And again, hopefully the macros will help get those set up easily for you overall. Now if we jump into my HUD layout as a part of this section, you'll see here my hotbar, my focus target hotbar, my enemy list, my main menu. My minimap is turned off because I've actually been enjoying Final Fantasy XIV without a minimap. My hotbar 4 right here with a couple of different cooldowns. You can always click on something, click settings, and you can change how it functions and its sizing easily when getting around. I've got my status enfeeblements, which I have it actually broken broken up into 3 groups. So enfeeblements, enhancements, and then up here in the upper right hand corner, like my food buffs, my team buffs, my free company buffs, etc., all listed there. Overall, like, it's a pretty simple, straightforward thing. I've got my party list right here on the right hand side, so I can see what's going on, enemy list on the left hand side, so I can see what's going on to easily target and make sure that I'm managing all the different hate, especially from the big pools that are happening overall. But now that we've covered all that, I think we are coming to kind of the ending part of this video, in which I want to kind of show you off my character. And overall, you can see here I'm primarily using a handful of different things. For the warrior, overall the headpiece is the level 1 580 piece. The warrior right now is the 560, 580, 590, so a handful, a couple different pieces. Has a nice little color scheme to it. The Gigan Axis, which is the level 560 weapon, and then on the right hand side, just rocking some level 580 crafted accessories for my warrior itself. So pretty simple, straightforward look. I like how it all functions and comes together as one full set. Anyway, guys, that is the guide. That is the controller setup. Hopefully you've got something good from this video. If you did, let me know in the comments. It's another really great way of supporting the other way to go above and beyond would be to share. And if anybody's out there looking to play Final Fantasy XIV, especially picking up Warrior and Endwalker, hopefully this guide has been a help in getting them rocking and rolling. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for your time. Hopefully you have a wonderful day. Hopefully I'll see you in my next video. But until then, take care.
Yeah. It's time to chill out on the couch and read some comments. That's right. You know me when it comes to Destiny. I'm off with the clan, and I'm glad you're feeling better. Oh yeah.